OpenAI have come out of the slumber and they are on a roll. After making some massive upgrades, the list of things Codex and ChatGPT can now do, which Claude cannot do, has grown exponentially. We are talking about skills that find themselves powerful tools like Agent Reach, a dedicated cloud PC for every ChatGPT user, full app hosting, and a version of voice mode that is nowhere near what Claude has right now. So without any delay, let's find out what these upgrades actually are and why Claude is left far behind. Here we go. Let's start with the skills. Something genuinely clever, because both Codex and Claude technically have skills, but the way Codex actually uses them feels completely different. In one widely shared example, a user fed Codex a pile of tweets covering interesting Codex use cases and asked it to help turn them into a script. Without anything being manually installed, Codex looked at the prompt, searched its own database, and automatically pulled in the right skill on its own. In this case, a tool called Agent Reach. Agent Reach is a real, actively maintained open source project that gives an agent the ability to read and search sites like Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and GitHub without needing a separate paid API key for each one. And if one method gets blocked, it automatically switches to a backup it has already found. Claude can open the same kind of links, but based on multiple reports, it generally has to take control of the actual browser window to do it, which is a very different experience from an agent quietly reaching for the right tool on its own in the background. And while we are on the subject of Codex doing unusual things, it also has pets. These are real Tamagotchi-style digital companions with 8 built-in characters to choose from, plus a hatch command that lets Codex generate a fully custom one based on what it knows about you, with examples online showing people turning photos of their actual pets into a matching digital version. These are not purely decorative either. The pet visually shows what your agent is doing while you're off in another app. Sleeping means idle. Moving around means it is actually working. Claude, by comparison, has a spinner. A perfectly fine spinner, but a spinner nonetheless. Now, here is the part that actually explains a lot of what Codex can pull off, because none of this works without real compute behind it. This is really amazing, something Claude simply cannot offer. Now, every paid ChatGPT user gets their own virtual machine running in the cloud alongside Codex, with roughly 15 gigabytes of RAM and 9 CPU cores, and Pro subscribers get an extra 5 gigabytes on top of that. Renting a server with those same specs would normally run somewhere between $20 and $50 a month before even setting it up. And it is simply included, because the work happens on that machine and not the user's own device. Closing a laptop or losing Wi-Fi does not stop the agent. It just keeps running in the cloud. One example that shows how far this goes involved a user challenging Codex to run a smaller open source model called Gemma entirely inside its own VM, with network access deliberately restricted so it could not just download it the normal way. There is where it gets really interesting. Codex reportedly built its own network proxy, got around the restriction, and had the smaller model running inside itself in 14 minutes, and AI running another AI inside itself. That same cloud machine is also what powers something called ChatGPT Sites, and this is not just a simple website builder. When Codex builds a site through this feature, the result includes a real database, so the app can remember users, real file storage, and a proper vault for API keys instead of leaving them exposed in the code. It handles authentication through a ChatGPT account, and it hosts the finished result, custom domain included, all from a single conversation. One specific example that circulated widely involved a request to build a GeoGuessr-style game against AI models, with Codex building it, hosting it, wiring up the login, and securing the keys all inside one chat. A post that reportedly pulled over 100,000 views, specifically because people could not believe it had hosted the finished product as well. Now, let us get into what happens once this much capability gets handed real responsibilities, not just coding tasks. As you move to the most crucial portion of the video, do tell me, which AI is your absolute favorite? Plus, hit that like button and press that lonely subscribe button as well. This part is about ChatGPT Work, which is OpenAI's direct answer to Claude Cowork. And the examples circulating online are genuinely surprising in how far people are pushing it. Documented use cases include watching an inbox for package deliveries, keeping an eye on a bidding account, drafting replies to emails that would otherwise be missed, checking finances daily for anything unusual, planning and logging workouts against health data, hunting for Airbnbs, and building a shareable trip document, finding a tax accountant and booking the appointment, and rebooking flights automatically when a schedule changes. All reportedly managed from a phone. For context, ChatGPT Work launched in July this year with a large connector catalog covering more than 1,400 apps, competing directly against Claude Cowork, which had reached general availability a few months earlier in April. It is worth being fair here. Claude Cowork does have real advantages of its own, including the ability to read and write local files directly on a desktop and run tasks on a recurring schedule, capabilities ChatGPT Work reportedly does not match yet. But for the specific kind of simple, everyday automation getting attention right now. One particularly relatable example involves connecting Codex to Gmail, crawling the entire inbox, and returning a clean list of marketing emails to unsubscribe from, described as simple enough for a non-technical family member to use without confusion. A contrast to Claude's connector setup and mobile app, which several users have found noticeably harder to actually operate. Now let us talk about two areas where Codex has a genuine edge right now: creative tooling and security auditing. On the creative side, there is a tool called Remotion, which lets you build animated videos using code instead of a traditional editor. And these are exactly the kind of sliding charts and moving text seen in a lot of polished explainer videos. Remotion has its own official Codex plugin, built directly by the Remotion team, which wires the agent into that entire workflow. Paired with OpenAI's image generation, currently regarded as some of the strongest available, the visual results being produced are genuinely impressive. There is also a free open source tool called Codex Slides that can turn almost anything, a code repository, a PDF, or even a messy set of notes into a full animated slide deck. On the security side, there is a real open source Codex Security plugin that can be pointed directly at any code base, and it will build a threat model, map out realistic attack paths, and show step by step how someone could break into the app. It then writes fixes, tests those fixes, and exports a proper report in formats that plug directly into GitHub, Jira, Linear, or Sarif, the standard format security tools used to talk to each other, and it is completely free. A few smaller features round this out, and individually they sound minor, but together they change how the tool actually feels day to day. Let's have a quick look. Now, every finished Codex task comes back as a pull request, and clicking into it provides a full plain English summary of exactly what the agent exactly did, which matters a great deal for anyone who relies heavily on AI to write code and does not always know what happened under the hood. Voice is another one. ChatGPT's live voice mode works in the background on a phone. So someone can go for a walk, ramble about an idea out loud, and later attach that entire rambling voice thread directly to a Codex task as its plan. Claude does have a voice annotation feature too, but it generally requires staying inside the app while recording, and OpenAI's underlying voice technology, built on a full duplex system that can listen and speak at the same time, is simply further ahead right now. Codex can also automatically clean up its own task list, running a scheduled process every 20 minutes that renames old threads to describe what actually happened in them, complete with a status emoji so the task list stays readable instead of turning into a graveyard of vague titles. And on memory specifically, multiple long-time Claude users have reported that Codex picked up meaningfully more context about them in a shorter amount of time, despite far less overall usage history. And before we wrap up, here are the honest caveats worth applying to all of this. The specific hands-on examples referenced throughout this video, the tweet script test, the Gmail cleanup, the Gemma model inside a VM, all come from individual user reports and demos circulating online, not a formal OpenAI benchmark or an independent lab test. So treat these as real but anecdotal, not scientifically controlled comparisons. The core underlying facts do check out the Cloud VM, its specs, ChatGPT Sites, the security plugin, and the Remotion integration are all real, documented, currently available features, not exaggerations. Where it is worth being careful is the framing. This entire video is about ecosystem features and product design, not raw coding intelligence, and it compares Codex against Claude broadly, including Claude's chat product and Cowork, not specifically against Claude Code, the terminal tool, which is a different comparison with its own separate set of numbers. It is also worth remembering that Claude Cowork genuinely does have things ChatGPT Work still lacks, like local file access and recurring scheduled tasks, so this is not a one-sided story in either direction. So, are you a Codex user or are using Claude Code? And which one you personally think is the better choice? Do share your opinion on this comparison. Subscribe to my channel as there are more such deep dives lined up. See you there.